Hi friends, let us start a new topic, disasters and their management. Now we have discussed about this Disaster Management Act with regard to their topics in ecology and pollution. Now we will discuss this in detail about their classification and the different terminologies what we use here. Now let us start with the basic definitions. What do you mean by hazard and what do you mean by disaster? Now hazard is a dangerous physical condition or event. Now I will write down the crux point, right? Hazard is a dangerous event or physical condition you have to know these crux points, right? That's why writing here. Now your earthquakes, floods, volcanic eruptions, landslides, droughts are called natural hazards because they cause great loss of life and damage to the your surroundings and the nature, right? Now see, let us see the term disaster and then we will continue with the hazards. Now what is disaster? Disaster is a calamity or tragedy or a consequence of a hazard. Now disaster is a calamity, right? I'll write down the points here. Disaster is a calamity or a tragedy, or in short we can call it as consequence of hazards. Now see, this is the difference between hazards and disaster. You have to be very particular for your service commission examinations. You have to be very particular regarding your definitions. Now come to the hazards. Now already you have discussed about what are the different types of hazards, like your volcanic eruptions, landslides, earthquake, floods, droughts. Now see here, when these natural hazards become disasters, now when the life and livelihoods are completely destroyed, now these hazards become disasters. Now see here, now I will bridge this point here. When lives and livelihood is destroyed, then your hazard is called a disaster. Now this is the bridge word connecting between hazard and disaster, right? Now see here, according to UN statistics, natural disasters are killing 1 lakh persons on an average and causing billions of damaged property per year, it seems. Now see here, according to UN statistics, nearly 1 lakh people are affected due to this hazards, it seems. Now next let us see the classification of disasters, right? Now disasters, what are the classifications? Now disasters are classified into two types. Now the first one is natural disasters and the second type is man-made disasters. Right. Now, first I will discuss about man-made disasters and then I will go to natural disasters. Now the term itself is self-explanatory, right? The disasters caused by human action and their negligence, error involving in failure of system is called man-made disasters. Now these are in turn categorized as technological or sociological disasters. Now again, this man-made disasters are divided into two types. They are technological and sociological, right? Now already you have seen the definition of man-made disasters. It occurs due to human negligence and their error. Now see here, technological disasters are nothing but technology failures such as your engineering failures, transport disasters. Now we have seen a disaster nearby in Rajasthan during a Diwali festival, and also in Mumbai, right? Now see here, now sociological disasters happen due to riots, criminal acts, stampedes, right? These are sociological disasters, stampedes. Now we have seen a stampede when during Mahakumbh happened in Madhya Pradesh once few years back. Now these are sociological disasters. Now let us discuss about natural disasters, right? Natural disasters. Now the term, it is self-explanatory, and they are natural disasters. Disasters caused due to natural sequences, I mean occurrences. Now these are divided into four types. The first one is atmospheric. Atmospheric disaster. Now what are these atmospheric disasters? Your cyclones, tornadoes, right? Thunderstorms, hailstorms, heat wave, Loo, cold wave, all these are atmospheric disasters. I'll write two examples. And the next one, second category is terrestrial. Now the term itself, I think you can easily observe. Terrestrial disaster means famous one, earthquake, right? Volcanic eruptions, landslides, and your soil erosions are terrestrial disasters. Now the next one is aquatic. Aquatic disasters, this also you can easily find an example, right? Your tsunami is an aquatic disaster. Tsunami. What are tsunami breakers? Mangrove plants are tsunami breakers. We have discussed this extensively in ecology, right? Now biological disasters. Now see here, due to outbreak of diseases, right, like your swine flu, right, viral diseases, right, Zika virus, these are all biological disasters, right? Now this is the classification. Now next we will deal in detail regarding earthquakes. A terrestrial natural disaster which frequently happens in India. Earthquake. Now what is earthquake exactly? You have to know the definition first, right? Now what is earthquake? Now this is the most unpredictable and highly destructive of all kind of natural disasters. Now these earthquakes are of tectonic origins and they are more devastating, right? Now these earthquakes are of tectonic origins. Right? What is this tectonic origins? Now see here, this tectonic origins, there is a geographical pattern for earthquake around the world at the tectonic plate margins. Sometimes earthquake occurs within the plate also. Now see here, these earthquakes occur between tectonic plate margins, which occurs in mantle region of the earth, right? Now this sometimes Earthquake occurs within plates also. Right, now see here, the earthquakes associated with volcanic eruptions and particularly in mining areas, they are of only area specific, they are not colossal disaster of entire area. Now, as per the current seismic zone seismometer, which checks the earthquakes of the Indian continent, over 59% of Indian land area is under the threat of moderate to severe seismic hazard. Over 59% of the total land area will be suffered due to moderate to severe earthquake. The entire Himalayan belt is under earthquake zone. Entire Himalayan zone is under severe earthquake zone with a magnitude of 8.0, right, with 8.0 magnitude. Right, now see here, India is divided into 4 earthquake zones. India is divided into 4 earthquake zones, right, namely zone 2, zone 3, 4 and 5. There is no zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4 and zone 5. Right, now zone 4 and 5 are the regions where you find devastative earthquakes, right, more devastative earthquakes. Right, and areas vulnerable to these earthquakes are the entire Himalayan zone, northeastern states, right, and your Indo-Nepal border, your Bihar, Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, Kashmir Valley, Kutch in Gujarat regions comes under this 4 and 5 zones. Right, now see, I will specific two, right, Dharmashala region of Himachal Pradesh, Dharmasala region of Himachal Pradesh is in 4 and 5 zone. Your Kashmir is in 4 and 5 zone, and your Gujarat, you have observed a devastating earthquake in run of Kutch. Right, now Gujarat region, devastating earthquakes. Now what are the impacts of this earthquake? Now your damage of property that you commonly know, loss of biota, right, some biotic factors, your animals, your plants may die, change in river courses due to movement of tectonic plates, tsunamis. Right, now how to mitigate this earthquake hazards? The curative measures that has to be taken in order to mitigate this earthquake hazards are establishing earthquake monitoring centers, for regular monitoring and dissemination of information among the people in vulnerable areas. Prepare a vulnerability map in the country and monitoring of that. Preparing vulnerable areas of earthquakes and monitoring that vulnerable areas regularly, timely. Right, now community preparedness. Now this is the most important. In Japan there will be a subject on earthquake because Japan is the highest prone for earthquakes. Community what has to be done if earthquake happens? This is the main thing. Community preparedness. Enlightenment of people regarding earthquake impacts. Now see here, Bureau of Indian Standards, BIS, right, I'll write the short form here, I'll write full form also. Bureau of Indian Standards. Previously it was called ISI mark. Now it was changed to Bureau of Indian Standards. Has published building codes and guidelines for safe construction of buildings against earthquakes. Now they have given a building codes and guidelines for safe construction which can subside against earthquakes. Right, done. Now next we will see about tropical cyclones. One more very devastating natural disasters happening in India, mainly in coastal areas. Now we have seen we have seen a Titli and Petai cyclones, and we have seen Hudhud cyclones. Right now they caused devastating disasters. Tropical cyclones. Now Indian continent is the worst cyclone affected regions in the world. Now due to the long coastline and exposed to nearly 10% of the world tropical cyclones, 10% of the world cyclones will be affected here. Right, now the major tropical cyclone starts from Bay of Bengal and strike the east coast of India. Now if this is the Indian continent, now see this is the Bay of Bengal area. Now east coast is the highly affected area of tropical. This is the east coast. Alright, more cyclones occur in Bay of Bengal rather than Arabian Sea, and the ratio is 4:1. Now there will be less low pressure situations in Arabian Sea rather than in Bay of Bengal. The ratio of tropical cyclones will be in the ratio of 4:1. Right, this is the thing. Now these cyclones vary in diameter of 50 to 320 meters, 320 kilometers. Their impact can be up to this, right, and affects thousands of kilometers of ocean surface and lower atmosphere also. Right, and what are the major impacts of these cyclones? They cause heavy torrential rains and then followed by floods, and landslides prompted by cyclonic conditions become more dangerous and devastating. Sometimes landslides happen. Now this happened right in Kedarnath 3 years back, a devastating disaster. Landslides happen. Done. Now the next type what we will discuss is floods. Now what are floods? The inundation of land and human settlements by the rise of water in the water channels and its spillover presents the condition of flooding. Now see here, I'll write down the full point here. Right, the inundation of land and human settlements. The inundation of land and human settlements by rise of water is called floods. Spill over the channels. Right, now these floods are relatively slow in occurrence and often occur in well identified regions, and they can be expected in a year. Right, in India around 40 million hectare areas are flooded every year. 40 million hectares of area. Done. And what are the natural causes of flood? Everybody know about it. It's heavy rainfall, cyclones, tsunamis, right? And your sediment deposition also causes floods. Done. What has to be done to control these floods? Now see here, in order to control these floods, the first main objective is to construct reservoirs in the course of rivers that could store extra water, right? Construction of reservoirs can store that extra water and can subside this floods. And by building flood protection embankments, and flood water can be controlled by overflowing the banks and spreading in nearby areas, right? Now by construction of flood embankments at the position more than flooded effect area, right? Now see here one more important thing. Planting of trees can reduce your floods. This is what happened in Chennai, right? Due to planting of trees. Can subside your floods, right? Now the next very important one what we have to discuss is tsunami. Now what is this tsunami? Now the earthquakes and the volcanic eruptions that cause the sea floor to move abruptly, resulting in sudden displacement of ocean water in the form of high vertical waves is called tsunamis, right? Now earthquakes and volcanic eruptions that cause sea floor, and write the crux point here, that cause sea floor to abruptly move as high vertical waves is called tsunami, right? Now the speed of the wave in the ocean depends upon the depth of the water, right? The speed of the wave depends upon the depth of the water in the ocean, right? Now it is more in shallow water than in deep water. The impact of tsunami is less over the ocean and more near the shores and cause large scale devastations, right? Now see here, that's why growing of mangroves along the shores will subside you this high vertical waves. So that's why mangrove is called tsunami breaker. Now Government of India has set up a early warning system for tsunami under the control of Indian National Center for Ocean Information Services in Hyderabad. Now this full short form is INCOIS, right? INCOIS is nothing but Indian National Center for Ocean Information Services, which is in Hyderabad. Now see here, I have explained this full form in disaster management in pollution. That's why I'm not writing the full form here, right? Next, the next concept what we will deal is droughts. Now what are droughts? Now drought is a period in which there is a shortage for availability of water due to inadequate precipitation, excessive rate of evaporation and overutilization of water from the water resources. Now see here, drought is a period of unavailability of water and this unavailability of water may happen due to less precipitation, means rains, or high evaporation, means more water is evaporation, right? And over utilization of water, over utilization of water. Right. These are the points. Now, what are these drought prone areas in India? Now, the drought prone areas in India are categorized into three parts, right? Drought prone areas are categorized into three parts. Now, the first one is extremely drought affected. Extremely drought affected. Now your Rajasthan comes under this extremely drought affected areas, and some parts of Gujarat also comes under, right? And the next one is severe drought prone areas. Severe drought prone areas. Now, what are the severe drought prone areas? Now, your eastern Rajasthan, some parts of Madhya Pradesh comes under the severe drought prone areas. Some interior parts of Andhra Pradesh in Anantapur, Ongole districts comes under severe drought prone areas. Now, the next one is moderate drought prone areas. Now, moderate drought prone areas will be nothing but your southern UP and Maharashtra, Jharkhand, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka will comes under Jharkhand comes under moderate drought prone areas. Right now, these are the three parts. Now, what are the major impacts of drought? Now, drought causes the first major scarcity of food and water, and due to this, the people migrate from their own areas to other areas. Now, crops will be dried down due to scarcity of water. Cattle dies due to hunger and malnutrition, right? These are common causes, right? Now, how to mitigate this drought? Now, the first one is continuous observation of rainfall and availability of water reservoirs. Continuous observation and checkpoints regarding the drought things. Right now, the next one is livelihood planning. Now, this is one more important point. Livelihood planning to be included as employment opportunities, right? Collection of timber forest has to be decreased because these are the reasons for the drought prone, right? I mean, timber production, these must be the alternate livelihood for the people during this drought. Done. Now, next one what we will discuss is landslides. What are these landslides? Now, landslides, or sometimes you call it as avalanches, are the major hydrogeological hazards. They are the major hydrogeological hazards. Now, what is geological hazard? Focus on this. Now, see here, why they are called hydrogeological as hazards? Because see here, this Himalayas, northern hill regions are the major prone to such disasters. Why only these zones? Now, see here, in summer regions, what happens? This snow and all the Himalayan ice will be melted down, and due to this, your Ganga, Brahmaputra rivers will be flooded in summers, and due to this, what happens? Forceful movement of water will create landslides and avalanches. Now, this is what happened in Kedarnath, right? Now, India has many vulnerability zones, right? Now, see here, very high vulnerability zones, and moderate. These are divided into very subcategories, right? Now, Very high vulnerability zones can be observed in Himalayas and Andaman Nicobar Islands. Andaman Nicobar Islands and also some parts of Western Ghats. These are called hydrogeological hazards. Right, now see here, causes of landslides already we have discussed is heavy rain, building of roads, shifting agriculture, deforestation. Earthquakes also sometimes causes this landslides. Right, now how to mitigate these landslides? Now the one thing that he has to do is hazard mapping of the areas. Hazard mapping of areas. This is the first thing that you have to do. Now next one, restriction of construction and developmental activities such as roads and dams in the valleys, right? So in valleys you have to restrict the construction of dams, projects and roads. Promotes large scale afforestation. Now see here, your heavy rains when floods are caused when there are many trees. Now see here, it can subside this floods. Terrace farming, right? Now terrace farming have to be encouraged in northeastern states. Now see here, previously and terrace farming has to replace jumming, or sometimes it is called shifting cultivation. Shifting cultivation, jumming or shifting cultivation. Right, done.